Don't worry, I'm not robbing a bank, I'm just building a door. Good morning. It's time to get another door in the house. We've had a sheet of plywood here for quite a while now. That's going to be our back door. And I've made a couple other doors for the cabin. This one for the bathroom here. I've got a few doors that I need to make up. So I bought a bunch of material to do them. We're just going to do them out of 2x6's. You can do it out of fir if you wanted. I personally bought cedar just because I like the look of it when it's stained up. This door, for example, is just made out of 2x6's. Very simple. I'll show you how you can make a 2x6 door today for yourself. So ideally you'd get some kiln dried wood to do this with. I got some cedar. I'm doing it with 2x6 cedar. It wasn't supposed to snow last night, but we got a little bit of snow. So thankfully it's nice and powdery, so we just got dusted off. But ideally you'd want it as dry as possible so it's not flexing afterward. Alright, now I'm just going to make sure the door frame is square, shim it wherever it needs it, and then screw it in place. The door itself will sit right here. There'll be a piece of trim right here, so I'm going to screw in to the spot where the trim is going to go. That way you won't be able to see any screw holes. Got the door frame squared, leveled, make sure it's the same up and down, so we'll have the same reveal. So in theory, if I build a square door, it'll fit here, right? Alright, there's the actual size of my opening. Just measuring out everything where it's going to be, adding things together, making sure I add an inch to this measurement and an inch to that measurement because there'll be a tongue going in. You know, various things like that. So roughly this will be what it's look like we're making tongue in a groove. So there'll be a tongue here and a groove there. So our 5.5 inch board is now going to have 5 inches of reveal. So when I'm adding up my panels here, I'm adding up 5 inches a piece instead of 5.5. And then on the ends, we'll also have that tongue cut off of there. So we need to make sure that we add an inch here and an inch there for our panel we're going to make for that. So I'm actually making 3 doors today. Making 1 exterior door, 1 interior door, and then 1 little bitty closet door. And since I'm doing multiple stuff, I'm just going to do cutlass, measure everything up, cut everything all at once, do 1 setup and get everything to go. That way I can kind of assembly line it. Don't worry, I'm not robbing a bank, I'm just building a door. Alright, it is cold tonight. I was 1 board short yesterday in my calculations, so had to run to the store and get another board today. And I'm going to see if I can get these panels finished being glued up, the center sections of the doors. Get those kind of in the works. If I can get them glued up, then we are 1 step closer. So it's pretty cold out. I think it's time for the ski mask again. And I'm going to see if I can get cranking on these things. It's definitely cold out. I put on a shirt, an undershirt, a sweater, and a Carhartt. So, what do you do? There is one thing that I love about the cold, though. When you get snow or a heavy frost, and it's really cold, when the light shines on it, it's like nature's jewel box. It's like a million diamonds shining, and they're twinkling all over. It's one of the prettiest things. So even though I complain a little bit about being cold, it's one of the prettiest things ever. Well, I'm just getting the router bits kind of lined up. This is what I got going here. Morning. We have a little bit of time today. We're going to be working on putting tongues on everything. So I've been practicing and got some tongues where I want them. So I'm going to go ahead and fire those up, and then we can start gluing together some panels. Alright, we got a bunch of our panels glued up. We need to get them to final size. We also need to cut in our detail for what will end up being the tongue that will slide into the grooves on the door. So got a little bit of prep work to do, and then we'll be able to put these doors together. Alright, here's a rough assembly of the back door. It will be a mirror image of the front door. Bitty closet door.
Looking good. I love that little door.
So I'm going to glue it down the edges. I won't glue the cross grain just because I don't want it to expand and crack anything, but I will glue it down the edges here. Alright, just kind of dry fitting everything together, make sure it's all going to work. There is the bedroom door and the little closet door. Alright, I had to cut the grooves a little bit wider on these, just to make sure I had room for the glass. We got these years ago at a yard sale. They're just a bevel of glass, and I'm using two of them, setting them actually front to front to fill that space. It's kind of like a crinkle glass. So I wanted to make sure I had enough room in here with just a teeny bit extra. I didn't want to pinch them and break anything. We should be good to go though. You're not helping at all, Finley. Alright, we got the old school clamps, which we found at a yard sale. I love these clamps. Got two of those on the door getting it set up. Here's a trick you can use if you don't have a clamp that's long enough but you have two short clamps. You can just kind of double them up, lock them together, you know, latch them together in the center there, and then you got a long enough clamp. When you're doing cabinets and that kind of stuff, it seems like you never have enough long clamps, so that's a fun little trick to make do with what you have. Alright, we have our doors, one glued up, the other one going, and that's basically how you build a wood door. This one will still need a little bit of trimming to finish it up, make sure it's 100% where we want it, make sure everything fits in the doorway nicely before we put hinges on and get it ready to go. But there you go. That's how you build a door out of 2x6's. So we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.